In this section we're going to have a look at reports. Reports are a good way to output data, not just the raw data but also summarising that data so that you can have your orders grouped by employee, by date, by customer and whatever grouping levels you want, and then you could have a grand total at the end. Personally, I tend to always create reports using the report wizard because it's a great way to sort out the data source, get all the fields there, and also aligns them so that it looks good at the end. You can then go into Design View to specify exactly what you want in that report and be specific about all the properties of all the fields in there. You can go straight into Design View from a blank report. However, just like with forms, it does take you a long time to set up the report because you've got to go in and specify all of those data sources, align all of the fields, set up all the grouping levels. So I would always start off with the report in a report wizard view and then get it to roughly where I want. Now, reports are a great way to summarise output. They can be based on tables, although more typically they're based on queries, and they can also be based on a parameterized query. If they're based on a parameterized query, the parameter is asked of the user when they open the report, they fill in the value, the report is then run using that value to run the query for its data entry. So it will actually take that data using that parameter and display the report using that with a parameterized report in this case. There's a lot of similarities between reports and forms. They are similar objects, although reports are designed for output, whereas forms are designed for input and data entry and editing your data. Reports are designed originally to be output on paper from a printer, although nowadays often it's actually still viewed on screen, but forms are designed for on-screen use. So forms don't tend to look that great when they're printed, reports tend to look very good. Even on screen, I personally find it's a good way of looking at summarised data to use a report because it's just a nice way of presenting that information and it has great grouping abilities. Their similarities come into play because they have the same types of controls. And often, if a control can be used in one, it can be used in the other. So if there's something you've used in a form and you want it in a report, you can almost certainly bring it in. And it means you don't have to relearn another way of doing something. You can take the knowledge you've got from creating forms and use that in creating reports. And what we're going to do now is have a look at creating reports in Access.